15-year-old Kevin Stiver researched the town of Glen, and his journey even took him into the living rooms of some of the former residents of that town.
If you were to go through that road behind Horseshoe Curve today, you couldn't tell that so many people lived there 100 years ago. The only things left is foundations. The coke ovens that actually kind of built that town are still there. And there's 3 graves that have gone undetected for over 100 years. And we kind of found out who they are and where they are.
Hey everyone, Allegheny Mountaineer coming back to you from the Allegheny Mountains in central Pennsylvania. We're in Blair County at a familiar place. It's Glen, Pennsylvania. If you watched my channel before, you've seen my videos about the history of this town and the book that I compiled a few years ago about this former town's history. And today we're going to be checking out a preservation project that myself, my grandparents, and a few other family members and organizations helped to complete, and we're going to be checking out what is involved in preserving this area's history.
So what I'm doing here is sanding up each of the rails that we're going to be using for our split rail fence that we are going to put around the cemetery. Some of the ones that we got were a little rough, so to make them appear nicer and less splintery, we got them all sanded up, and we're going to put stain on them once they're in place. These rails were donated to us by the De Gaulle organization and the Home Depot of Altoona, so special thanks to them for making this whole project possible. Next, we're on to the installation. As you can see, we have the center post in that is between the man and the woman that is buried there, and the other man is to the right out of frame. Here I'm going to be working on putting in this corner post that is going to bring the back side of the fence down the left side. We're going to keep the front of the fence open and just put the split rail fence on both sides and along the back. So it really stands out when passing by through the woods, and it still gives access to put memorials onto the graves, such as the flags that are on in this video, the Christmas wreaths that we put on around the holidays, and flowers throughout the year. Each of these posts had to go into the ground about 18 inches deep, so it required a lot of digging with the digging bar and post hole digger and digging into our rocky mountainous terrain. Some of the holes gave us some trouble, but it was definitely worth the work as steady progress was being made each time we went to Glen and worked on this project. So once the fencing was done, it was on to the stairs. As you can see, the original stairs that we put in a few falls ago were starting to rot away as they were just cut and laid stumps to get up the bank to access this cemetery. So to make it a lot better, we had donated treated lumber that we cut into lengths so they would fit up through the bank. We had to dig away and reshape the land some, but it was enough for it to work and get a full length set of stairs up to the bank, up to the roadbed that goes towards the graves. And to finish it all off, we put a longer step at the bottom and a handrail up the side. As you can see, we're putting the finishing touches on our first coat of stain, the railing. Another set of steps we had to put in was this set of steps that turns off of the roadbed and towards the cemetery. We put this in just so people have an easier time going up to the cemetery rather than climbing up another bank. An altogether nice project when completed.
So if you don't know where Glen White is, I am 2 miles from the world famous Horseshoe Curve in Altoona, Pennsylvania. This is Veterans Memorial Highway, also known as Glen White Road on your GPS, possibly. And we are here at the second bridge. This is about 2 miles from the curve. This is in the direction towards Glitzen, that way, towards the curve in that way. And we're going to be heading back to the Glen White Cemetery, which I recapped its history a few months ago with my own video. We're going to go past the truck here and up the new set of steps to access this cemetery. We got these steps put in just about a month ago with thanks to the DeGaulle organization and the Water Authority. Also, Home Depot of Altoona donated all the materials to make this project possible. So we're going to go up the steps here and into what was where the church was, which was right here across this roadbed towards this other small set of steps. And you turn here and we'll go up towards where the 3 people are buried to find them all surrounded by cedar fence that's been stained and with a sign in the middle recapping its history.
So as we found out, we have more information on the people who are buried here at Glen White. The first man, who died in 1910, Peter Kolak, had a wife named Josephine Sobolensky Kolak. Josephine and Peter Kolak had 3 children, Stanley, Joseph, and Anna Kolak, with Anna passing away in 2001 as the last of that generation. 3 months after Peter's death, she remarried to Jacob Ulwary of Glitzen, and they lived in Glen White together until they both perished in Glitzen in the 1950s. Josephine is buried along her second husband in Glitzen's St. Mary's Cemetery, just outside of Glen White's limits. As for Gregory DeZuba, the man who froze to death in 1914, a death certificate was found for him because his name was spelled completely different than it was in the publications in the newspaper. His last name was spelled Jubeo, different from Dzuba, and it says that he is buried in Glitzen, PA. Now, it is not certain to be proven that he is buried anywhere in Glitzen upon checking all 3 cemetery records, but circumstances could have changed to be buried in Glitzen or buried in Glen White. It is hard to say 100% who it might be, or perhaps that this third grave is another unknown individual that we have information yet to find.
And there's Pap, who's been in a couple of my videos, who found this cemetery 2 years ago on January the 8th of 2023, and now it's been fully preserved.
Nice little project.
Yeah, it's been a great project thanks to the Water Authority, the DeGaulle organization, the Home Depot of Altoona, and just the community for being respectful to this area with a lot of history here in these mountains, and Otherwise, this history could have been lost. So these three people, if you look behind me here, were logging operations that took place over the past decade. And if they could have gone any further in this direction, there's a chance that their logging equipment could have gone right over this cemetery and this history would have been lost forever. So now with this signage and fence and staircase to make it more accessible, it could be that this cemetery is recognized for many, many years to come. So I know it's been quite a while since I put out any type of video. I've been very busy, still in school. This is my senior year of high school, and I hope to pursue a history major and stay involved with our local history as much as I can. There'll be more upcoming videos on the history of Glen White and what I'm doing here. Also, information on some other projects I'm working on, which that includes a pictorial history of the Horseshoe Curve. It's my latest project, the book I'm working on. So if any of the viewers watching this have any pictures of the Horseshoe Curve throughout its history from your personal collection, or just pictures that are your favorites that you would like to see included, you can send them to my email, altunapahistory@gmail.com. So we'll take one final look here at the cemetery. We have one individual buried here. Is a man, and the two side by side who are a man and a woman. And this is just mere feet off of the road which I just came from. So hundreds of people go up this road a day, and only a few know that this cemetery exists.
Some of the people that lived here didn't even know these graves were here. These are long lost, long forgotten graves of here in the Allegheny Mountains of Glen White.
Yeah, this is just a prime example of people could be buried anywhere. And throughout the Allegheny Mountains here, I know there's a small, just 2 or 3 people buried here, 2 or 3 people buried here, but this small cemetery was a part of what was once a large community of hundreds of hardworking people for the area of Glen White. And it's sad to say that these 3 people buried here in the foundations of the coke ovens and a few company houses and about a half a dozen residents who can remember living here and working here is all we have left of the place. Yeah, if you stop by the cemetery, feel free to comment on the video that you stopped. We always like hearing the community feedback. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment on the video, email me, or check me out on Facebook at Altoona, Pennsylvania History. And be sure to follow that for all of my upcoming projects, and make sure that you like and subscribe to this video for more updates on what history takes place here in the Allegheny Mountains.